baked in the woods. Got a bunch of hardwood, firewood. Let's get it all stacked up. Cutting my way back through, extending the farm road. This is pine. Just separating the pine and the hardwood. Trying to get someone here that does firewood. Take some of this. Got a lot of good wood here. It's like 98 degrees out, so humid that these trees are sweating and the bark just peels off them instantly. And you can't stack them because it's like a slime rod. It's crazy. Got these monster pines. I mean, the camera don't really show how big these are. All squiggly and wiggly, leaning one side coming out, but then it straightens out at the top. Just gotta, you know, with a ripper, it's tough to get it to go where it goes. It could slip off easy. But I'd like to land it in there, and if you can see the Widowmakers up above, hanging way up there. Try to zoom in here. But if you land them into that and knock those Widowmakers, I'd already tried to do it on that one on a different tree and couldn't get out. I'm gonna have to rope them, pull them down. But yeah, I don't even know if you guys seen any of this. I cleaned this wood severely all the way over. We got a path going up. So we'll get all this brush out of here, the tops. I'll mulch most of it and then burn the rest. And then yeah, I just googled about the trees and humidity and wet weather. The bark definitely comes off super easy. That's why it's doing that. And I'm like, geez, man, they're slimy and they're hard to stack with no bark on them. All right, get on the sides of this guy. Don't like to hit the pine trees, and you don't want to cut the roots all the way so you can control this, you know, so it goes easy. I can put it right where I want it, in between here. Like so. Cut the stump off, cut it in lengths, firewood. Shake the dirt out. Try to get the dirt out as much as you can when you're cutting that stump off too. I just bought a new blade for that saw, and man, what a difference. She cuts like effortlessly, and definitely needed it, but that dirt will definitely take its toll on the blade. Get my logs over, then we're gonna try to attempt to take this big boy down. I don't know where I'm gonna put it yet. Probably gonna have to land it on all this brush. I don't know. We'll figure it out, because like I said, when you have a bucket on, you can hook the edge of the bucket like Chris does, and you could guide it where you need it to, but it could slip off this ripper easy, come right into you. So gotta definitely know which way that tree's falling. Alright, I think I found a home for this 80-footer Leany Deanie. We'll see what happens. We're gonna tuck her in. Get enough roots out where she'll just go. where she wants. So let me cut on this side. And then she's just balancing on the roof wall. We are going to try to get her in that hole there. I got my counterweight here up against trees, so I really can't. I got to get to the side of it, I think. Got the counterweight right up against me, and I won't. That stump, when it comes out, is going to kick back. Want to be big. All right, let's do it. Yeah, baby, hole in one. You know the drill now. Just stack them up, get them in the pine pile, go from there. The new chain cuts like a bear through the pine, I tell you that. So like I said, whoever's been following this channel, but this was all a field, farm field, this whole hill. At one point, I got a picture of it. I gotta get the picture to show you guys. It was just one big field, and this so the material here is so good as far as the overburden. There's no rocks or nothing because it's been picked, you know, and farmed for so many years. Just trying to keep my brush on one side and my stumps on the other. That way, it's just easier for me to manage. I'm going to come in with my mulcher and mulch down 90% of this brush, and then the bigger stuff I'll burn. Got a burn pile going over the yard. Gonna get that going. This tree here is got a bunch of trees coming off of it, so let's snap one off first, make it safe. All right, we're gonna snap you first. Get in here if I can. Get backwards here. There we go. After this one, the big ones are pretty much done for where I gotta go for now. Put another culvert in. There's a little runoff from all these valleys and hills. It runs off and then goes into the swamp. So we got a little runoff when it rains, and I'm just gonna slap a culvy in there, and then I'm back to my cousin's property, and we will, you know, I just want to get back there, be able to drive a vehicle back there. If I get my big slammer that I want to get this year, I got my eye on a buck that for 2 years now. If he made it, he's pretty big for around here. He's no Western buck, Ohio buck, or nothing like that, but good for upstate New York. Now, Western New York, they get some big boys. But we don't get them here. I might drop this thing back in that same hole now. I gotta move my saw. I'm gonna go over to the right here, drop it there. She's cut all the way around except for the one side. Let's see if she'll move now. Oh yeah, she's moving. Slow her down there, big guy. Slow her down. Let me get my saw. Let me slap this right here just to hold it anyways. Alright, we're gonna get it. It wants. I should cut these 2 leaders off that are coming up right here, because they're hanging out that way a mile and they're gonna go right into them dang pine trees. So I'm gonna try to pull it to me as I go. Pull it to me right now. Pull it, pull it, pull it. Drop it. Nice. Cleared the pine trees. Right in the hole. I'll tell you, a lot more sunlight coming in. Gonna be really nice. New growth, new drying out, making the existing trees more healthy. Gotta have that sun. Okie dokie, all cut up. Except for this piece that it couldn't get to the bottom. Now I can. Big girl. A lot of dirt in the bottom. There you go. I knew I cut it. I'm like, alright, same deal. Pull it to me, put it in the same hole. Get her going. And pull it right over to me. Done deal. Let's get this one out of the way. Drop another one real quick. Alright, we're getting there now. That's all cut up. I'm like soaked. Soaked. It's like a rainforest in here. It rained for a whole month. Hey now, come on. We got a couple trees tied up into each other. Get this little guy out of here, and then we'll work on that other one. To our opening. Alright, just cleaning up for the day. Just taking the tooth bucket, back dragging and getting all the sticks and debris on the top layer. Obviously when we go to smack the farm road in, we will rake through it and get where the stumps were and get better. We got to pull the overburden, so we'll get it all out. see how the ripper makes quick work of stumps. Sometimes it splits them like that if they're pine, and lets them get out. It's moist in here, man. Moist, moist, moist. Rainforest material. All the moisture's coming up out of the ground with all this humid, hot weather. It's like crazy. But this putting sunlight in it, so I'm going to take down maybe next 15, 18 trees to get straight out and back to this path. Saving the night. There's a couple nice ones in here I want to save. What happens is trees go down through the other trees, but they clip branches on the way, and branches hang up and they become Widowmakers themselves. So we'll just get this to go straight like so. Work with me. We've got pine needles coming down somewhere. Get out straight. This is the tough part without having a bucket. You really can't get it to where I want, and this thumb will definitely not hold up to pushing. Get over. Get over, get over, get over, right there. Nice and nice. Do one more right here. Then we'll do some cutting. Don't want to get too many down. Get a rat's nest. Still got to get in with the machine to move them around, you know. And get her in that hole. Come on. Nice firewood tree. Let's go, bad boy. Timber. Well, you see how dark it is here. That's how it was there. Just that little bit of trees right here. Those three little ones drop down and you get all this sunlight. That's the goal. Couple more through here, lay them right over, cut them up after lunch. We'll have sunlight through this whole stretch right here. Everybody's thirsty. Oh yeah. It's been so long, I don't even know where I left off on this video. So, cleared a bunch of trees. Basically, I'm to the point now. I mean, I gotta open this up right here where we're walking through. I got a couple trees, all pine trees. So I'm just trying to find someone to take some of this stuff, just so I don't have so much stuff stacked up. I got firewood and then white pine and stuff, but not much. I've been saving the white pine. Once I get a log, they're gonna want the pines, white pine and stuff. So it starts to open up here, and then we have some runoff from the three valleys that dump into this back part where I got to slap a culvert in. It's dry now, obviously. We haven't had rain in a few days. We had 2 months of rain and then now no rain, so which is good. Things are drying up, looking good. You can see we're going in. Everything is nice and wide. So I'm going to slap this culvert in. So here's the swale where the culvert will go in. I got a couple logs in there now just so I can cross. So basically, this is where it starts over there, right where you see the green, the far distance. And it comes through here, and this is right here where the bucket is, where I'm throwing the culvert. Then it runs right on out naturally. So and then we got a swale coming in off down here, which will come down this way and into the culvert that way, and then obviously straight forward is the driveway. So the road will be a couple feet up above this, and anyways, about right where my teeth is. All topsoil here, overburdened. It's wicked hard underneath. I'm probably going to scratch through, obviously, and get down to harder ground and come back up. Just going to try to find a borrow pit. We're getting there. Back on site. Had a culvert in the yard. Thought it was a 15-inch at first, but it's only a 12-inch. It's gonna have to do for now. Best part about that is if it isn't enough, you just rip it out and put a bigger one in. As you see, everything's dry here in this overflow swale here. This is, like I said, there's 3 valleys coming into one. Huge floods, rains, springtime, whatever. She flows, trickles through here and goes on out. I'm gonna rip out my wood temporary bridge here, and we're just gonna scarf this in. I'll take a laser, make sure everything's good, and then probably cut back here 10 feet on each side, say, throw fabric in, maybe put fabric under the pipe. I don't know yet. I'm up in the air with that, you know what I mean? I like to keep the pipes on natural ground so all that mud gets in every corrugated spot on the outside. So if you use fabric and it can't get on the bottom side, you could get water to go under that pipe. That's my theory. Yeah, that pipe's been in the yard for a while. I don't even know what job that come off of, a 12. I think it was an upgrade and we needed to go bigger, and the customer ordered a 12, or I did, one or the other. But let's get this wood out, nice and dry under it. It served its purpose. Let me get through the swale when it was wet. Underneath is hard, you know. We just got, like I said, a topsoil layer, pretty good. I'm just contemplating what I want to do. All right, I gotta grease this machine, fuel up, and get the laser out before we get too crazy here. Yeah, so what I was saying about getting too crazy with the road, you know, obviously if it was a road, you rip out, you know, you excavate it down to the subbase, completely boxed out, rip every root you can, and you come in with major material. So this being in, you know, farm road, whatever, I don't want to kill the trees. There's some spots that are tighter over there that have beautiful pine trees and maple trees and stuff where the roots are going through here, and I don't want to dig down, and the base isn't that bad, so I'm thinking just, you know, fabric over the root and then just the gravel over the top would be perfectly fine for whatever I'm going to use this for. Obviously we start ripping into roots where it gets tight, like this one here, you know what I mean? That root goes down through here, and we got to bring this road up another 1.5 feet anyways to where it's got to be. So there's no sense of digging down and ripping these roots of these nice pines right here, you know? We don't want to have this thing 80 feet wide and looking like a highway, the way I had to have it up in the front to get all that material, you know? So we want to just keep it a nice wandering road, and it is what it is. All right, after shooting with the laser, here's the skinny. We got everything's pitching here, which is fine. Big pitch to this point, but our denominator is right here. This is the point that has to get this water here, so we can't be any lower than this. So we have to shoot here. So basically I did. I'm gonna fit, and I dug this deep in the beginning just to get the water flow out of here. I didn't know how much was coming through here, but so we're gonna, now that it's dried up, we're just gonna shape this with the skid steer, V this up, fill this in to bring this up a little bit, just to get a natural water flow looking, instead of a ditching, to the culvert. Just basically the same way I got this one, just a gradual swale right here. And I'm gonna dress this up now that this is dry too, and then track and pack all this in. We're gonna raise this culvert pipe a good 6 inches, and because the logs were down in there and driving heavy equipment over there just smushed this all down. So we'll get this where it's got to be. Sides of it. And heading back down. Right there, I think there's a little high spot in it. pitch right in the bottom of that culvert. To this point up here, you got two different angles coming into it, so. See with my sun and the sun in my eyes backing up. The swale's got a little less in it. Looking better though. Looking more still got a good swale, good V, but it doesn't look as much of a ditching. Once that grows in with grass and ferns, it should be beautiful. All right, that elm had to go. It was dead anyways. So yeah, a lot of elm trees died because of the bugs around here. They got beetles or something. But the bottom of this is super hard. As far as this being a natural swale, look how hard this ground is. All right, we're ready for the pipes. I'm just gonna pad this up 4 inches. I just dug down here on the other side of the road. It's all, from this point, is all sand and great clean gravel. Down here is the yellow clay in this area, perfect for ponds, which eventually I'll put a couple of ponds on this property too. Some nice ponds, stock them up for fishing. Who knows? Who knows? So anyways, I'm a big firm believer of using the same material that you got for padding and stuff like that, as far as like creek crossings and stuff. You know, if you're doing storm sewer, obviously use stone and all that stuff with pipes. But when you're dealing with culverts, I use the same material. I would like to use clay like this, just because it waterproofs it. You know, if you use clean gravel here, what happens is water goes under the pipe, you know, and it can fail. Yeah, it probably will silt up eventually, but just use what you got. It's a lot. As long as it's suitable. You don't want to use stuff that's going to make the pipe flex in the center and stuff. This is hard, so I'll track and pack it right now. Like I said, the bottom of this is super hard. Yellow sandstone clay, like, it's got enough sandy loam in it where it's not sticky, you know, and it dries out fast, but it's this part of the property's got some clay in it. Obviously it's the runoff, and it's pretty good. I did, like I said, I did some prospecting for materials. We've got so many different materials on this property, it's crazy, but it is what it is. The best materials out front where we started the driveway, and then it changes all over, like everywhere else in the world, you know what I mean? You could be in a mine and have perfect gravel going 20 feet over, and all of a sudden it turns right to blue clay, and you're like, how? All right, we'll get this in, we'll get shooting. I cut that tree up and started to do that swale. It was a little wet in there, so we'll let that do its thing. All right, culvert is placed. A common mistake, and I'm sure I've made the mistake over the years when I first started out too, is bell end. Excuse me. Bell end is entering. So wherever your water's flowing first, put the bell end. That way it's flashed when you put the other pipe in, or if you want to extend it. It's just rule of thumb. You could always adjust your swales where enters and exits to make it work too, but the main part is you want to make sure you're square where you are going to the road. Some culverts obviously you have to cock and get angled, but you're going to lose distance on the road and culvert if you angle it. So try to square it up with your road and make the water work from there. But that's my 12-inch beauty. I've had that in the yard probably 7 years, I bet. I don't know. I found it in the bottom of a pile. It was full of water. There's a little pin. If these things are super heavy, there's little pinholes in here, okay? If you shake this, you'll hear water in it. The thing was like 300 pounds, so you just tip it to where the pinholes are and she'll drain out overnight. So by the time we're got that filled in from where the skid steer, a foot above the skid steer, we'll be a good 16 inches above that, or maybe even 2 foot, which specs is only 6 inches. You'll need 6 inches of material over a culvert pipe. As long as it's an HDPE dual wall pipe, smooth inside, corrugated outside, just check your specs. But that's usually what they recommend, 6-inch minimum. The higher you go, the narrower the driveway goes, or you have to build head walls. I do have a galvanized, what do you call this? A galvanized, lost my thought here. Well, you guys get it. But anyways, this goes on here. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it again. This was an old one I had in the yard. I don't even know if it fits that one. You always want one size bigger. So if you use a 12-inch, you need a 15-inch one of these, which this most likely is a 15 because it won't wrap around. So if I do put this in there, and then like I said, adjust this so it catches, I'll probably use that. Why not? I have it. So yeah, but right now I'm gonna get the Busa, load up some material, drop 2, 3, 4 loads right in here. All right, so we'll just smooth out. We'll get fabric, then coffee, then Busa. Drop a couple loads in here. I probably don't even need fabric here, that's the truth. There'll be 3 foot of gravel over in this area, but I got it, I might as well use it. All right, we're pinned. I cut the fabric like that. That way I could get gravel in all around this culvert and not have a void in there, because you know it will be a void if that fabric. So I always usually cut it. If you want to go over the top of it again with a piece afterwards, you can, because obviously this thing has to get topped several times. That's just the way I do it. And I didn't want to fill in too much gravel there and not have the fabric. So that's the point, is like if I filled right with gravel all around, then the fabric up and over, it still creates different transitions from, you know what I mean? It could create rolling and stuff. So you want to try to keep this sub-base gravel as thick as you can under the fabric and not have thin. I don't know. You do you, I do me. That's just the way it goes. There's 9 ways to skin a cat. I said that my first month on YouTube 6 years ago. Boy, this one commenter goes, what are you, an animal torturer? It's just 9 ways to skin a cat. I'm like, I don't know, it's a saying. My father used to say it all the time growing up. But if you really think about it, yeah, sure. I'm skinning cats, I don't know. All right, on to it, let's do it. Oh yeah. Take the shovel and just go around that a little bit, and then backfill time. Backfill the thing, a couple more loads, and be done. Be able to drive through and not worry about it. All right, this will be 4 scoops, probably enough for now, just to get across the skid steer and equipment. We'll be over the top. We are over the top, but and then when I go to put this road, continue it, I will just go to the fabric and then overlap it. It'll be good. She's a flare. That's what I was looking for. You just push down right here with the excavator on this 90, and these things sink into the ground. There's a threaded rod that goes through here that you could tighten it. I'm not going to bother doing that. I don't really care to do that. I'll just pack that with dirt or whatever. It is what it is. And then this swale, you know, this will be a nice little round, and it will come right in. Choom, choom. Whew. I almost forgot. Hello. I've been doing that since day one. Just gonna take some material here and back this up. That way it holds the gravel from migrating out. We'll fill this whole void, and then this will be a little swale going down into the other swale. There will be a swale coming off the road itself. Just dressing up the swale, leaving the culvert. Got everything backed on that. They're just basically making wing walls out of dirt. Like I said, it's not a creek. There's not a lot of flow unless we spring and fall, you know, get big rains or whatnot. Ground's totally saturated. Come over here, just push down on the culvert ever so slightly with the heel on the 90. She'll go down in. Bend this flare this way because it's got to take water from this side too, and we're going to kink it a little bit, I should say. Just kink this part down. There we go. Let water come across. I think we got it. It's pretty good. We're all the way in. Shape up this little curved swale, and she'll be flowing right in there. I bent that flare pretty good, so she'd come in right here, right where the bucket is. All right, she's in. Everything's coming here and that way. Everything's coming down this way and in there. When this road's in, this will come this way. And the same thing with this. Everything exits. We'll have water here and here coming down. Looking good. We're just wanting to get this in now. We're dry all the way. We could drive through here with a pickup truck like nothing. Even though I did before with the wood on there, it worked. Next step is to dig down where the fabric is, but all this is opened up nice. You can see the sun coming through and things are greening up, and makes a big difference. Just clean the floor. Right there, there's all my floor. Cleaning the floor of the forest of years and years of trees down, you know. Now you can walk through and not trip. Creek's still running good. Everything's good over here. Got our little campfire area right there, our tiki torches. Alright, I had to get the van out of the way. Drop this big one because I gotta drop it out towards the opening, which is the least spot I want it to go, but it's the only real spot it can go. Every other way I look at it, it's gonna wrap up in trees and the top could break off and come back on me. So let's get in there and take a peek. I'd love to put it right where the machines are, right here. I think I'm still gonna try, but them branches up there, them branches are gonna try to catch in there. And if I try to snake it through there, through the opening, I'm gonna land it into these other pines. I might be, I don't know. Because it's leaning to the right now, so I can't even get in here with the machine where I would like to be. Because in order to get it down through that hole, I gotta be standing or sitting right here. Hung up in them trees like I knew we were, and that's leaning over for the sun and it's caught into it. I don't want to snap that tree. I'm gonna try to, I just tried to push it over. I can't get over it because all of these trees next to me here. So what I'm gonna do is just spin that root ball, pull it to me, and it should rotate that top to the right up there. We'll see. Let's see, I'll get you guys in the angle. I'll get you guys up there, that way you can see like that. See, I'm gonna spin the root ball. Let's see what she does. That's just what I didn't want to happen. Now I got another one shaking up there, and it got a Widowmaker hanging down, so whatever. Look at the size of the crater we got there. Gotta keep your eyes open that nothing's hanging when you do stuff like that, because now I got a hanger way up there that's gonna come down eventually, but I didn't want to lose this one yet. It is what it is. She has to go. See, but that's the dangerous part, is when you push like that, that could have come this way and then onto it. So it is what it's just hairy. And I had this hole here, but I couldn't with this stupid pine. I should have got rid of this pine tree, then I could have sat there and pushed on it. But well, she's cleaned up. I'm gonna take all the tops and put them in one pile, and then I take the mulcher and I mulch them right down. I put them over there so they scatter out throughout the forest. Let's get these old stumps out. I'm gonna take down that one there that broke off the top too. Alright, that's all cut up. We no wonder why that top broke off. Thought it broke off awful easy because I spun that root, and I don't know, have to look back in the video, but it was coming off the tree and then all of a sudden it snapped. But it was rotted right at the joint, right there where it snapped off. It had bugs, so it was all hollow right there. That's why she snapped. That was hollow from there all the way to where it started to be good again. And it had bugs. You see how the rot is right there. Crazy, right? So we'll take that firewood, spack it up there. That's all pine there, but this is firewood here. In the skiddy, look at this pile of roots and dirt I got. I've been putting that every time I cut a tree down or pull a stump to get roots out. Putting it there. I use that stuff to back the road at some point, or back something, you know what I mean? That good dirt with a lot of root matter in it for erosion control. Of course, you gotta have a diesel tooth skid steer bucket to do it. On site. I don't even know where I left off, probably a couple months ago anyways. Just back in the woods here, got a little free time, got the ram. We can come all the way back through now to the east side, so I don't know if that makes sense to you or not. It don't even make sense to me. So I just came in here with the mulcher this morning and just started hammering down stuff. This is where all the blowdowns were. This was miles of blowdowns. You couldn't walk in here. I'm just stacking them all up over there, cleaning up this area here, all the dead, and just like, I don't even know, 50 years of blowdowns. It's crazy. A lot of them are rotted, but a lot of them are still good wood, that, you know, because we keep getting trees falling. A lot of it was pine, and now you see the second generation's all green up there. Kind of crazy. Shows you how long they've been down. But so I kind of got the camera just so I could end this video, because like I said, I think I started this a couple months ago. I don't know until I edit it, but I know it was a while. It's been on the computer, so shut this door. And so we'll get this in. Basically just taking all the dead trees and setting them up against the forest before the hill, before it goes up. So this hill goes up here. Let's set this one over here for now. We'll put that on the top because that seems to be a good log still. So basically I got a road coming in all the way along the bottom of the hill before it does an incline, so that I could just access my property and branch off anywhere I want to go up hunting or do whatever up through the hill. This gets me around. I'll open this up, I'll put like a little turnaround there so I can drive in and circle around. Like it's not so much a cul-de-sac, but kind of like a redneck cul-de-sac. For now, all this wood will sit here and rot. It's just pine and crap. It's better than being on the forest floor in the way. Took down a lot more big trees that were hung up into other trees, a lot of dead trees. So that's where we're at. I just wanted to give a quick hello to tell you where we're at with the time frame with this video. Why, you know, because you're gonna see, I don't even know if there was leaves in the beginning. I'm sure there was. I think it's 2 months ago, maybe early summer, something like that. But that's it. Cleaning up. Looks a lot better in here already. Just started this section today, actually. And we'll finish her up, and next phase of this video would probably be me finishing the road, getting it back here with gravel. Come on, get it out from the trees. Alright, I guess that's that, huh guys? Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Helps out the channel. Be great. And you're guaranteed to see the next video. So stay tuned. We got that septic one coming up. Catch you guys on the next one.